even spent 5 minutes talking to him, he'd leave an impression on you that you'd remember, and usually with fondness. We were spoilt. We had him every day.
On the 16th of October 2006, Michael Hamer was sentenced to a minimum of 12 years for the murder of Joe Geeling. It was a killing that stunned the community and left the family completely heartbroken.
It was clear that Michael Hamer had targeted Joe Geeling. Michael had to find a way of getting him away from school and away from his parents so that he could carry out whatever he had planned for him.
That day at school all revolves around a note that Hamer gave to him at lunchtime. It was a note that was a complete fabrication. It purported to come from the deputy head. It was telling Joe that he had to go home with his mentor, who was, in the letter it said it was Michael, and that his mother would meet him there at 4:30. She was going to be given the address, and so she would meet him there. That's the very clever part of the letter, because it reassured Joe that his mum was coming for him.
Well, I'd seen Joe outside school. I'd seen him walking away from school.
Yeah.
Which I thought was strange, because obviously he lived near me. So I'd see him usually walking towards where I walked home.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought, where's he going? Thought nothing of it. Why didn't I just go and speak to him and ask him what he was doing? Because if I did, then I would have, I could have pieced it all together.
And has that thought haunted you?
Yeah.
But there was nothing that Kim or anyone could have done to prevent what happened next. We'll never know why Joe went back to Michael's house, but it would become the site of the 11-year-old boy's murder.
They get to the house at 4:15, and bear in mind that his mum is supposed to be coming for him at 4:30. By 4:30, he's actually dead. It would appear Joe has resisted. He's said, "You're gay," and he's apparently said that he will tell other children in school the next day.
Angered and embarrassed by rejection and worried that he would be outed, Michael cracked and reached for a frying pan.
He hits him so violently that the frying pan breaks in two. He then runs downstairs, grabs 2 kitchen knives and goes back up. He drags him down the stairs and then puts him into a wheelie bin, which he then is dragging out of the house and on towards the park through the little streets and alleyways. And by the time that Joe's mother is meant to be picking him up at 4:30, he's already at the park and he is being dumped in a wooded gully.
When Joe hadn't returned home by 5:30 p.m, his parents called the police. While the search continued, 14-year-old fellow schoolboy Michael Hamer was in his bedroom doing his homework before going to sleep in the very same room where he had killed Joe Geeling just hours earlier.
The day after, there was a picture of Joe going around school saying something like, "Have you seen this boy, Joe Geeling?" And I thought, I know him. I'd seen him. So I'd put my hand up and said, "I know him, I walk home from school with him." So my teacher said, "You need to go to the headmaster and speak to him." So I'd gone to the headmaster and sat down in the foyer and waited to speak to the headmaster. Now, Michael Hamer was sat next to me waiting to speak to the headmaster as well.
What did you think then?
Well, I thought nothing of it at the time, but then Michael spoke to me and said, "Did you see Joe last night?" And this gives me the creeps even now, and I said, "Yeah, did you?" And he said, "Yeah."